not something to be ashamed of, you know. Renting a council flat.
It's not to be proud of either.
So now you built your own flat, Tony. That makes you a decent person, does it?
Why should people look after something if they don't own it?
Ever heard of self-respect?
There is nothing wrong with people buying their flats, Barry.
There was nothing wrong with renting them either.
595 from Sierra Oscar.
Go ahead, Dave.
What's your location, Barry?
Yeah, Creswell Court.
Could you just pop into 17 Ellison Road? We've got a possible stolen car now.
Hold on, could be a problem. Got a man down. Could be drunk. We're gonna have a look.
Understood.
All right, love.
No, I was just coming across.
You all right, mate?
What's up with him?
I don't know, I didn't see it.
Can you hear me?
How long's he been here?
I don't know.
We need an ambulance.
Sierra Oscar 577 receiving.
Yes, Barry?
Creswell Court. Ambulance required. One male casualty, wounds to the abdomen.
Knife wound?
Yeah, looks like it.
Do you know who he is?
Sorry.
Mark Grant.
You know?
59 Creswell Court. I know him all right.
Mark Grant.
Yeah, well, Jim Carver thought you might like to know, sir.
He gets stabbed in broad daylight and nobody saw it.
That's what Tony Stamp says. Middle of Creswell Court.
Right, thanks, Dave.
Jean Clements. She found him.
But she didn't see anything.
No sign of the weapon either.
Are you sure there's no one else?
The place was deserted.
Who is he, anyway?
Well, let's put it this way, lads. It couldn't have happened to a nicer fella.
The figures look bad, sir, but I think Creswell Court's a manageable problem.
You wouldn't say the area was beyond our control?
I wouldn't say a thing like that, Derek.
A 42% increase in burglary and a similar increase in car-related crime. I'd say the people there would find that pretty exceptional.
Well, we're all aware of the problem, sir.
The plain fact of the matter is that Creswell Court has moved away from traditional council house management towards owner occupation. There's a residue of 5 or 6 problem families that think the rest of the neighbours are fair game.
We could do with more uniformed bodies on the ground, sir.
It's not just a question of manpower, Andrew.
So what do you suggest we do? Pick out the ones who are at it and move them on?
I'm suggesting that the mix of people is a contributory factor to the problem. Hello, Frank.
Sorry, I'm late, sir.
Nice for you to join us.
It's Creswell Court, Gov. Someone's just knifed one of the Grants. So this tow rag gets stabbed and nobody notices.
Well, that's what Stamp and Stringer reckon. Now, the thing is, Tosh...
Yeah? Look, is this going to take long? I've been late once already.
Tony McKinnell, do you remember him?
McKinnell?
At Creswell Court.
Yeah, he was burgled.
Fascinating.
His old man disturbed an intruder inside the flat. The bloke got away, his old man got 2 weeks intensive care.
I remember, 6 months ago.
Yeah, now, we never got anyone to court for it.
Really?
Now, Tony McKinnell chased someone. He later identified Mark Grant as the bloke who battered his old dad.
Revenge.
Well, it's early days yet.
But Carver's suggesting that revenge is a possible motive for this stabbing.
Well, he reckons this geezer McKinnell's got the knock because no one was done for the attack on his father. I mean, he identified Grant to Carver. Carver got the evidence and CPS threw it out. Grant got off.
Carver thinks McKinnell might have done the job himself.
Well, like I say, it's early days.
You missed all the fun, Frank. That's a topsy on Creswell Court. You want to read it with the lights on?
That bad, eh?
Well, the last thing we need is someone from Creswell Court taking the law into their own hands.
Mark Grant.
I'm just interested, Donna. I want to know who we're dealing with.
He's well at it, sir. I mean, well at it.
Assault, criminal damage, aggravated burglary.
I don't know where some of them get the energy.
Hasn't got the energy anymore. Somebody knifed him. He's in intensive care.
Can't say I'm surprised. I know it's a rotten thing to say, sir, but it's his neighbours I feel sorry for. Those are nice flats now. I don't know what a family like that's still doing there.
According to uniform, Grant still had his wallet, his trainers and his keys after the attack. So unless the attacker was disturbed...
It's not a mugging.
He's not the type to get mugged. He's usually dishing it out. And if he's not dishing it out, he's thinking about it.
What Jim is trying to say is...
All I'm trying to say is, Gov, he's a thug. 6 months ago, he broke into a flat across from where he lives on Creswell Court. He thought it was empty. Only John McKinnell, the 68-year-old bloke who lives there, walks out the bathroom. Oh, little Mark, he bashes his head in with a towel, even has it on his toes.
Yeah, well, we can't prove any of that. But what do you reckon the chances are that the son's got something to do with the stabbing?
Well, whoever's done it's done us all a favour.
Judge and jury now, are we, Jim?
All I'm saying is, Gov, he got what he deserved.
I've never understood that got what he deserved. Never have done.
He's a violent nutter, Gov.
Well, so are half the villains on this ground. That doesn't mean to say they should end up in hospital, does it? Look, there's a 17-year-old lad lying in intensive care with his tripes hanging out. Now, if anyone thinks that's acceptable because he's a villain, or that two wrongs make a right, just say so, and I'll give you something else to do. Right, now we're all of one mind. I want everyone in those flats interviewed. It was broad daylight, right in the middle. Someone must have seen something. I want a thorough search made for the weapon. Someone might have dropped it when they were running away. Now, Tony McKinnell.
Gov.
Interview him. Where was he at the time of the attack? And Uniform have asked us to inform the parents. Has anyone done that?
Parents?
Grants. The victims, Jim. I think we should make them a priority, don't you?
Gov.
Frank.
Jim Carver.
Yeah, I know he's got a personal interest, but that's what I've been hearing all morning. They're all slags. I'm on the side of decent people. I thought our job was to treat people equally.
Well, we're not doing it, are we? I mean, Grant is walking all over those flats, and as far as the residents are concerned, people like the McKinnells, we're letting him do it.
What do you base that on?
You've seen how much previous he's got.
Well, so having a criminal record and making a general bloody nuisance of yourself, that justifies attempted murder, does it?
What?
As far as I'm concerned, somebody tried to kill him. And I want you to put the word out, I want that person caught.
Grant shouldn't be out walking the streets.
Well, he's not, is he?
But we're chasing after him as if he were a pillar of society. But whose side's he on anyway?
Who?
Meadows.
Why don't you ask him? I thought this place was supposed to be deserted.
I might just do that.
Mrs. Grant. Shut up! Hello, look. I'm DC Lyons, Sunny Police. Can I come in?
Shut up!
Thanks, yeah.
Jim Carver.
Hello, Tony. Can we have a word?
Get in there, shut up!
It's Mark. He's all right, but he's in St. Hughes. He's been hurt.
Hurt?
Yes, he's been stabbed. Look, he's going to be all right. Why don't I give you a lift down there?
Yeah, thanks. There's always something, isn't there?
Yeah.
Can't say I'm sorry.
Hello. You wouldn't know anything about it, would you?
Well, what should I know about that?
Well, the thing is, Tony...
No, I wouldn't.
Sorry, I didn't actually see it. I told the lads in the car this.
Nothing at all.
I'm walking across the square. He's lying there.
And this was...
Just after 9:30.
You sure?
Yeah. Look, I probably shouldn't say this, but it's one of the Grants, isn't it?
Yeah, why?
You lot should have cleared them out long ago.
Yeah, I've just spoken to the witness, Gov, Mrs. Clements. She still says she didn't see anything.
There's nothing from McKinnell either. Apparently he was at a DIY store this morning and he can prove it.
Right.
There's a lot of prejudice against the Grants from Mrs. Clements, Gov. I'd say they don't have too many friends down here.
All right.
Enough people here now, though, aren't there?
What are they saying?
Well, there's about 150 people in those flats. Grant gets stabbed, there's no one there to see it. Greg says it's like Piccadilly Circus up there now.
Morbid curiosity.
Could be. Either that or someone's telling porkies.
Terrible. So what'd you do?
I'd rather not say, Harry.
Tony, you got a minute? This business this morning, are you sure you didn't see anybody else?
Well, there was the woman, sir, Mrs. Clements, but she just arrived.
And there's nobody on the balconies?
That's right.
The place was deserted.
Well, what's the problem? I mean, the bloke got what he deserved, didn't he, sir?
Why don't you sit down?
I'll be fine.
You better smoke outside. I'll go and see him. Mark. I'm DC Lyons, Scannell CID. I need to ask you some questions about this morning.
God, if I have to knock on another door... I'll tell you, I feel like an Avon lady.
We're going to get one this time of day, Jim. CID Martella speaking.
Viv, I've just spoken to Grant.
Shut up, you lot. Oi. Yeah, say again, Tosh.
He says there were witnesses to the stabbing. He says at least a dozen people were watching from the balconies. I could only see him for a minute.
It was an unprovoked attack.
That's right, Gov. He was walking across the courtyard when two blokes came up to him. Casually dressed, I see one.
He's certain there were witnesses?
On all three balconies.
Right, get back to St Hugh's, Tosh. Find out as much as you can. And get a description of the two blokes.
Gov?
I think you're right, friend. They're all telling porkies. Fancy a trip out, Jim?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
I'll get down there so I can get out of McKinnell.
There is one thing, Gov. Apparently there was a woman standing there in the courtyard about 20 yards away. She watched the whole thing.
What's he like?
McKinnell. Family man, wife, kids, bought his own flat, football on Sunday.
One of us.
I just think he's the sort of bloke we should be looking after.
And you don't think we are doing?
Well, we're not, are we? I mean, look at this place. 95% decent people, the other 5% you can't do anything with.
Them and us.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I think it is.
So you think McKinnell should be able to do what he wants within reason?
No, sir.
We police by consensus, Jim, not divide and rule. Got your sheriff's badge, Jim.
Mrs. Clements.
I was just going out.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry about that.
Look,
Could we just go in, please?
So where were you this morning, Mr. McKinnell?
Ask Jim.
I don't have to ask Detective Constable Carver anything. I'm asking you.
I've explained once.
As a young lad lying in hospital, I'm asking you to explain again.
Oh, I see. So someone's knifed that waste of time and you're busting a gut. Then my dad gets put in hospital and nobody does nothing.
I can imagine how you feel about your dad being attacked. But Mark Grant being in hospital doesn't put it right.
Yeah, well, good luck to whoever did it, that's what I say.
They're strong words, McKinnell, and maybe used in evidence.
So, you're out until lunchtime then, Tony?
Yes!
Where?
Right. 6 sheets of sandpaper, 2 packs of sugar soap, and a 5-litre tin of vinyl mat emulsion. Bought at 9:47. Oh, I had a cup of coffee, the donut as well, apparently.
Mark Grant says a woman fitting your description was there.
And you believe that, do you?
Were you there, Mrs. Clements?
I'm sorry, I resent this. You're taking the word of a criminal against mine.
You haven't answered the question.
Slag, isn't it? That's what you call them. Well, that's all right by me, because that's what they are. I bought this. This isn't council, it's mine. And I don't see why we should have to live next to scum like that and listen to you lot sticking up for them.
We don't take sides, Mrs. Clements.
Well, you should do.
Yeah.
Any luck?
She's still saying she didn't see anything.
We're being given the cold shoulder, aren't we?
I did get one thing out of her, though. Where she was coming from. She works in the pub over the road.
We'll check it out. Come on. In the pub, Jim.
Terrific.
Right.
Sorry, we're closed.
It's all right.
I won't serve you.
It's fine. I'm DCI Meadows. This is DS Gregg. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
Still nothing, Gov. We must have done 2/3 of the flats. Nobody's admitting they saw anything.
Keep at it, Viv, and keep me posted.
Will do, Gov.
How's it going?
How's what going?
You spoken to Tony McKinnell?
Not me personally, no.
You lot want to go easy on Tony, in view of the way his dad is and that. We all know it was Grant.
What are you trying to say?
Go easy on him.
What's all that about?
I don't know. I think I've just been threatened.
What time did Mrs. Clements leave?
Look, I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but I mean, Grant is trouble. People round here stick together. These flats are decent apart from prats like that.
A crime's being committed, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, you'd noticed? My sister had her flat done over the other day. Do you know what your lot said? It wasn't a priority. No wonder people are sorting things out themselves.
Is that the way you want it?
Whoever knifed him, at least they did something for us.
What time did she leave, Mr. Wilson?
Who?
Who are you?
I'm the landlord. Who are you?
DCI Meadows. This is DS Gregg.
That's all right, mate. Don't mind Mike, he's a mouth.
We need some information, Mr.
Shaw. Alan Shaw. Look, you're putting me in a very awkward position.
Well, you mean you don't want to get involved in case your takings go down?
Oh, no, it's not like that, no.
You want to get your priorities straight?
Look, Grant has earned himself this.
Maybe he has, but it doesn't end there. Who's next, Mr. Shaw? Now that they've finished with Grant and they're looking for somebody else to sort out, supposing it's one of your customers, then he gets his mates to sort out the people who sorted him out, and so it goes on. Every man for himself. Is that what you want? Thanks for your help, Mr. Shaw.
Well, things are tough all over. Times have changed.
Yeah, this used to be a good pub.
Meadows from Burnside.
Go ahead, Frank.
I've just had a call from St. Hugh's. Mark Grant wants to withdraw his statement.
Great. So, he's more or less saying it didn't happen, Gov. He'll be saying he fell over and cut himself next.
What's all this about you wasting my officer's time, Mark?
I've nothing to say.
Well, that's not what you've been saying. You said a dozen people stood by and watched you being stabbed. Now, we are agreed you were stabbed, aren't we?
So I made a mistake.
What, you made a mistake about the witnesses, or you weren't stabbed? Look, don't go all silent on me, Mark. There's 150 people out there all saying they didn't see anything. I think they did. I think you were telling the truth, and that they're lying. So don't you start. Is that the mother?
Yes, Gov.
Will you get anyone for it, do you think?
I'm doing everything I can.
He's been nothing but trouble since the day he was born. His teachers couldn't control him, but he don't deserve it.
What about his dad?
His father can't control himself. They're all a bit useless. Can't choose your family, can you?
No, you can't, no.
You got a family?
Yeah, I suppose I have.
You know what it's like then.
All right, Jim.
We're still making inquiries into the stabbing of Mark Grant this morning, Mr. McKinnell. I wonder if you could answer a few more questions, please.
Yeah, sure.
Down the station.
Mark Grant said he was threatened. He says you know who did it.
Half of Cresswell Court could have done it. I mean, you lot bottled out did it for you. I'd say they were acting within their rights.
You're wrong, Mr. McKinnell. Criminally wrong. Justice is not a commodity. It's not something you buy like a council flat.
Privatise the prisons, haven't they? Look what he did to my dad. We won't tolerate people like that no more.
And who's we?
Look, we bought those flats. We're not prepared to expose ourselves to threats from criminals.
Oh, you mean the people who aren't fortunate enough to buy their own flats?
Oh, come on, they're slags and you know it.
So what do you suggest? Move them out? Or should we have done that?
You lot do nothing. That's why we're looking after our best interest.
Oh, we being the people who have bought their own flats.
What's wrong with that?
So you're protecting an investment?
So what's wrong with that, eh? I mean, you got a nice house, haven't you? How many villains live where you live, eh? How would you feel if one of them moved in next door?
Provided he kept within the law, I'd like to think I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. But the moment he crossed the line and I had sufficient evidence, I'd nick him. Just like I'll nick you. The minute I've got the evidence.
Yeah, come in. Hi, Jack. I've had a number of telephone calls. Complaints from Cresswell Court.
What's the problem, sir?
Police harassment. The residents seem to feel that we're putting them under pressure.
I bet they do. I'm sorry, sir. It's just I've got no time for what these people are doing.
Which is?
Getting together and weeding out the undesirables. Starting with Grant.
Simple as that?
Simple as that.
Cresswell Court is a community being tormented by one or two families whose actions have gone apparently unchecked by us. They seem to have found someone to fill the gap left by our default.
Someone to do the job for them.
A local hero, if you like. Look, I don't like this any more than you do. I've also had a number of telephone calls in support of whoever knifed Grant. Jag, are we letting this one slip away from us?
No, sir.
What's happening about McKinnell?
Oh, McKinnell's been released. He's been dropped from our inquiries.
Oh. Grant's statement.
Thanks, Viv.
Not enough to charge anyone with the stabbing, though.
We got enough to charge Grant with the McKinnell robbery. Flat 6, Alistair got stuck into one of Grant's mates. Seems he'd rather deal with us than face McKinnell and his mob. He's only saying he saw the attack on McKinnell's dad.
You'll have to go back to the CPS.
Certainly.
So, Grant gets knifed, and Grant ends up being convicted.
Who said there's no such thing as justice?
Things are tough all over, Frank. You fancy a pint? Mark Grant's going to be charged with aggravated burglary and the assault on your father.
Not before time.
He's also given us further information concerning the stabbing. About a dozen of you just stood by and watched it happen. If you aren't telling the truth, and you know that some of your neighbours aren't telling the truth, either way, it's a conspiracy, and that's an arrestable offence. So is attempted murder. Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
You're joking.
Didn't mean to go that far, did you? Just thought you'd warn him off.
Tony, don't say nothing.
That's the trouble with knives. You do one thing
But
before
you can't
know
come in and
are.
start threatening us.
This is a public house. You can't stop me. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. So what do you do for an encore, Tony? Get nasty? Throw me out? Because you decided I don't belong here? Just like you decided Grant doesn't belong here?
Not just me, it's everyone.
Oh, it is it? Do you hear that? He's doing this on your behalf. He's got your backing, has he? To clear out the flats, get rid of the undesirables. Bit of stabbing here and there.
Right, you, and you, out.
Oi?
I've had enough of you. You're no longer welcome here, so out.
So you don't have everybody's support, then? I'll be back in the morning and I want some answers. Thanks for your help.
Yeah, well...
Can't get a quiet drink anywhere nowadays, can you?
What happened to all the decent people, Frank?
They bought their own flats, Governor.